This week's episode is brought to you by Marco's Pizza. Monday and Tuesday nights are Carol U nights at Marco's Pizza in Waukesha. Mention you're a Carol student and receive 25% off your entire online or delivery order. Marco's Pizza, every store, every day, the Italian way. Welcome back, everybody, to this week's episode of the See You in Van Mail podcast. Once again, I am your host, Sam Gobert, Carroll's Sports Information Director. Joining us today is our Co-SAC president and baseball player, Clay Schult. Clay, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thank you very much for having me.
Yeah. Why don't you start by introducing yourself a little bit to those who don't know you?
Perfect. All right. So Sam said, I'm Clay Schult. I'm playing baseball right now. I'm also a co-president for the Student Athletic Advisory Committee. I am a junior right now. My major is exercise science with an emphasis on pre-physical therapy. I'm going to be in grad school next year already, which is absolutely shocking to me. Time's absolutely flown by, but I've been loving every second of it.
Cool. Why don't you, just for the holiday flair, why don't you throw in what your favorite Thanksgiving dish is, too?
My favorite dish? Ooh, great question. I would say that my favorite dish for Thanksgiving this year is probably the cheesy potatoes. Okay. We got some great families that make some absolutely perfect homemade dishes.
That's great. That sounds exciting. I'm getting excited for it too now.
So soon. 1
week away. All right, cool. Clay, why don't you start by telling us a little bit about, how we kind of ask everybody on this, but tell us how you got into playing baseball as a kid.
Into playing baseball. So I started playing baseball right around 4 or 5 when T-ball started, really, really young. I always got to do that, and then with travel ball, starting around 8 or 9 and playing with Little League, I played that through all the way up until high school. I started travel ball. In high school, I still played baseball and found another travel league to play with. But being able to play with that same group of guys in my city for about 10 to 12 years is really what drew the love for the sport of baseball. For me, I think together is playing with the same group of guys from 4 to end of high school.
It was the camaraderie aspect and being all on the same team with the same guys.
100%.
That's good. Yeah, that's something I experienced too as well, growing up playing baseball since I was about 4 or 5 as well. So cool. So at what point did you decide, like, hey, baseball is something that I'm really still passionate about and I want to play in college?
Playing baseball in college never really touched my mind until probably the end of sophomore year of high school. I was always a basketball guy. My dad and I were always basketball guys, even before I started playing baseball. He always coached me too, all the way up through high school. But basketball, I would say, was definitely my number one sport all the way until about my sophomore year of high school. Baseball didn't really become my favorite sport until at that point, because I loved the drive and determination and the hard work that basketball played, and I didn't really understand the mental aspect of baseball until then, when I got a little bit older. And then being able to take that drive and hard work I had with basketball and my dad coaching me all those years, and be able to bring that into baseball, to be able to figure out the chess match of the game of baseball and be able to mix in the hard work and the mental part together, really clicked for me at that point. And that's when I decided I really wanted to play baseball in college.
Gotcha. So, did you continue to play basketball throughout high school too? Was that ever in the question?
Basketball was still probably, I would have to say, my favorite sport through high school, all the way up until my senior year. But it was really, really tough on the body once I started playing it for so long. And baseball, just the mental part of it, was something that I would be able to take into college, and I'd be able to use that, I think, a lot more with my abilities.
Good. Gotcha. So what do you think is you kind of touched on this a little bit too, like about when you were younger, but what's like one of your favorite things about being on Carroll's baseball team here?
Carroll's baseball team, I'd say, would be the group of guys, 100%. We got, right now this year, we have about 55 guys, the biggest team that I've ever been a part of by far.
Right. Yeah.
But being able to travel with that same group of guys for the past 3 years and practice with the same group of 50 plus guys all the way to our CSC security events where we do security for like Badger football games or basketball games, being able to take the long bus rides all the way to Tennessee that we go to in March, being able to just hang out with that group of guys and the fun we get to have together on those trips, I think is definitely my favorite part of being on the baseball team. Be able to grow with them throughout my 4 and maybe even 5 years with the extra year we got back last year of eligibility is totally awesome.
Right. I'm sure that extra year is kind of convincing a lot of people to stick around too, and that's why the team's gotten so big.
Definitely is. It definitely is. Yeah.
So I forgot that you guys all work at the Badger games, like the football and basketball games.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I know obviously you can't do it this year too much, but like, what is in your mind? Is there a game that from basketball or football that sticks out to you? Like, wow, that was a fun one to be at.
Easily, I can say my favorite CSC event was the Badger basketball game against Marquette last year. The stands were absolutely full, and it was just absolutely electric because it was a close game all the way back and forth. The Badgers were able to pull it out by 10 or 15 at the end, but being able to see the high speed intensity of the D1 basketball with the stands full and just going absolutely bananas, I think, was my favorite CSC event.
Cool. That's awesome. That's why I'm so glad that we have a two good Wisconsin basketball teams in Marquette and like in Division I level.
Oh,
Like I
100%.
would really love to see, that increase in the state. I know the state's kind of small, but like to have 2 or 3 Division I football programs that we can have a rivalry too. That would be really cool to see.
And we're supposed to be just as great again this year. I'm excited to watch it.
Oh yeah, totally. So Clay, why don't you talk a little bit about what it's like being the co-president of SAC? For some people who might not listen, what is SAC and what are some of your roles with it?
So SAC, as I said earlier, is the Student Athletic Advisory Committee, and we get to be a voice really for the athletes. So if they got questions or concerns about equipment that we have or with locker rooms or with the weight room, which we just made some good changes on with bringing in new lifting pads, they can come to us. We can talk to our AD Mike about it, and we can be able to make things happen, which I really, really enjoy about it.
Good. Yeah, I mean I think that's something that a lot of people don't know is, as a SAC advisory board, you guys bring up the issues and work together, and you guys serve as the head voice of all the student athletes, which I got to think is got to be a cool feeling for you.
It's by far the best part of the entire thing.
What are some of the things that you, as the president, I guess you've learned through this experience, or that you're looking forward to because you're going to continue on being president next year?
Some of the things I've learned, a lot more about responsibility I've really learned from this. Ever since my freshman year, being able to be a part of this board and being able to learn from the people ahead of me and then being able to take over this year as a co-president, being able to follow with Lindsay, the other co-president, being able to see what she does, being able to talk to Mike a lot. They've taught me a lot about how to be able to handle the concerns that people have, I would say, and being able to make things happen for the school that most student athletes don't have the chance to be able to do.
Right. Yeah, true. What do you think, now when you leave in a couple of years and as SAC continues to grow, where do you think you'd like it to see SAC after you're gone, or the progression of the growth behind the org? For reference, I guess we're still trying to build it up a little bit more. We've had SAC in the past, but it hasn't been. There's more emphasis on it now more than ever, especially in the times that we're in,
Yeah.
for students to have a voice in the way we make decisions on campus. Where do you expect to see SAC in 2 to 3 years after you're off campus?
Right when I got here my freshman year, we would have 5 to 10 people at every single meeting, and it was super, super small. Barely anybody knew about it. I barely knew about it until we had the freshman org day where you get to go around and meet the other groups on campus, and that's when I found out about it. But being able to, over the past 2 years, we've easily quadrupled the size of SAC. We have 40 to 50 people at our meetings now, which is absolutely great. But I would say that over the next 2 to 3 years, if we can keep growing that number, where we can get more people in Shattuck Auditorium to be able to fill that space up, be able to get more voices heard, to be able to get more teams heard, because I know that not every team always shows up yet, but if we can grow that over the next 2-3 years, that would be awesome. With our new board coming in, I'm really excited. We have some young people coming in. They'll be able to learn over the next 2 years to be able to take over. And even with the COVID going on right now and the adversity that we have trying to figure things out, we're still getting a lot handled and we still have a lot of things that we can still do. But I'm really excited to try to get, once we can have more sports coming up, be able to get more people to go support each other's teams and be able to get more people to show up to the home games, to get a bigger crowd going, a more excited crowd going. And that's one thing I think we can really improve on. I'm really excited to see over the next few years.
I think we're already on the right track for that too. As you've seen, like
100%.
The basketball games towards the end of the season last year
Mhm.
erupted with the amount of fan support. Even though the men's basketball team, they lost some close games, some tough ones. They weren't always winning,
Sure.
but we had the support and we had the turnout from the fans, and I think that helped a lot.
I was loving to see it. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Why don't you talk? This is a little bit off of the questions that I had prepared, but you guys just recently baseball too. You're getting a brand new facility renovation and update. Why
Oh
don't you
my
talk about
goodness. Yeah.
the process behind that and the updates to Frame Park?
The Frame Park updates have been absolutely phenomenal. My freshman year, sophomore year, the field it looked great from the outside, but I'm not going to lie, it didn't play the best. The dirt wasn't the best. Outfield was a little bumpy. But with the help of our coach and with the help of the city too, being able to get the brand new turf field looks absolutely stunning. And I cannot wait to get on it in the spring. We weren't able to get on it this fall, but we got all new dugouts, got new bleachers, new fencing, and all of it looks great. And I cannot wait to start playing games on it in the spring. I've been dying to get on the field.
Absolutely. What do you think that's going to help with how do you think that's going to help the Carroll baseball team moving forward too?
Recruiting is going to be huge with that because in our conference we had one of the worst fields, I would say, in the conference. But now with that new field, we're definitely jumped up there. We got a lot of guys in this year. We get to help improve over the next 2-3 years. And as soon as and coach is going to be able to get a lot more recruits, I think, from around the area and from other states to come into our school with the help of having that new facility and being able to use sticks too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the added bonus of sticks too, I'm sure helps a lot with the shooting pitch. But I think I've been out there a couple times now, and the background and the setting of Frame Park is beautiful. And the
The
field
river
was
in the
just kind of,
background, yeah.
it was a little rough, but now you have a beautiful field and a beautiful backdrop for great baseball summer nights at Frame Park. I think it's going to be amazing.
100%, yeah.
Really looking forward to it. So, Clay, in the holiday spirit, I've got a couple questions for Thanksgiving of a would you rather type questions.
Bring them on.
All right. So, my first one here, would you rather go all Thanksgiving without turkey or all Thanksgiving without any dessert or pumpkin pie?
Ooh, Thanksgiving turkey or pumpkin pie? I think I would have to say pumpkin pie. Banana cream pie has always been my family's number one go-to. My grandma makes the best banana cream pie I've ever had, so I think we'd have to take away the pumpkin pie because turkey to me is just an absolute staple for Thanksgiving.
You got to have it. I mean, you can't really expect anything else.
Right.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. I side a little bit with pumpkin pie, but too, I would have to say goodbye for one day.
Definitely.
So, would you rather, and I'm not sure if your family does this, would you rather watch football all day or play a couple games of backyard football?
My family and my extended family has always been a watch football kind of group. We're all super into sports. We do love playing sports and playing football, but being able to just relax with the family all around when we're eating and watching football together is one of our favorite parts of Thanksgiving, is just being able to be together as a group again. Since a lot of us are off at college now and a lot of our extended family lives so far away, watching football, I would say, would be our number one.
Yeah, I'm the same. I don't think I could get out there and play football on a full stomach from Thanksgiving too. I'm ready to.
So difficult.
I'm ready to burst.
Take that food coma nap at the end when you're done eating.
Yeah, exactly. So that kind of plays into my next question. Does your family eat Thanksgiving early, like around like 2 or 3 o'clock for lunch, or do you guys hold off and wait all day till like 6 or 7 p.m.?
We've always done the 2, 3 o'clock. We like to get our food around halftime or around the end of the very first football games going on at the beginning of the day. And then we just eat leftovers and all desserts throughout the rest of the night when we're watching the end of the football games and just hanging out. We've always been the lunch group, I'd say.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I think it's a lot easier because if you eat that much at 7 o'clock, it's not going to be good. It's just going to.
Definitely.
So, so I guess in a non-COVID year, everything's kind of changing with Black Friday this year. But are
Mm.
you the guy to go Black Friday shopping all night long, or just sleep in and go online shopping the next morning?
Actually, I've never gone out on Black Friday shopping before. I've never done it my entire life once. We've always done the Amazon shopping for the Black Friday deals or going out a few days after just to see what's left over. I've never really liked the mad rush of people for Black Friday shopping. I know a lot of people love it, but for some reason my family's just never gotten into it. And just shopping online on our couch when we're watching sports or a movie has been our number one thing always.
Yeah, I would say I have some family members that it's like a religion to them every year. They gotta go. They have to have it. And, I mean, I've never seen the appeal of it, but I get the feeling of everything is just so much easier to just buy online right now and try to beat everybody out that way.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, Clay, that's kind of all the questions I had today. Do you have anything else you'd like to add for those listening?
For our student athletes listening, with COVID going on this year, we've done an absolutely tremendous job, and I could not be more proud of all the athletes on campus doing a great job being able to still get better in their sport every day while still being able to stay safe and having such a low number of COVID cases. I couldn't be happier with our group, and I hope we can keep it going and come back strong in the spring.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to the spring. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much again, Clay, for joining us, and go Pios.
Yeah, go Pios.